Time to get this thing prepped for the road. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things. It's time for me today to get the Sat Van ready for this warm-up lap for the road trip that is beginning this week, actually. Like I explained in the last video, it's going to be done in sort of 3 different segments. The first one being the Northeast as a warm-up lap. It's going to be for the next 2 weeks or so. I'm going to be hitting New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and New Jersey. I believe that's all the Northeast states. I'm doing that over the next 2.5 weeks, and then from there I'm coming back home after that warm-up lap to make sure that everything else is good with the van before I head out on the big loop out west. So in order to get the van ready for the road at all, the first thing I need to do is de-winterize it. Some of you may have caught the video back in late fall, early winter, where I actually winterized the whole van. I removed all of the water from the lines, filled it with some antifreeze, and all of that stuff is done right here by the side door. I'm basically going to be doing all of that stuff in reverse today to get the antifreeze out of the lines, and that's just the first step. After that, I need to actually pack the van out because right now there is nothing in it. Let's just jump right into this because there is a lot to do today. Now, I've already went ahead and started doing some organization of everything that is in the van already, like the RV accessories. I consolidated everything into this right here. And I'll give you a quick rundown of what's in here. It's mainly all RV stuff. I got hoses and tools to remove the tires, power supplies, cords, different adapters and things like that. All we really need for today is a clean drinking water hose. This isn't just a regular old garden hose. And then I also have a spray nozzle right here to connect up to the different ports and get that antifreeze out of the lines. There's still some stuff I need to do back here, but we'll cover that in a future video. Well, the first step to all of this is obviously turning the power back on. Without the power, the water pumps will not run. Come up here to show you guys what we have going on. Tank levels are of course reading empty for both. They've been empty all winter. This button right here will actually turn the water pump on, but I'm going to leave that off until we get some water in here. Now, there are actually 3 different ways to fill this van. On the other side you will find a port for the city fill. If I want to connect this thing to water, say at a campsite or somewhere where I'm parking a little bit more permanently, I can have consistent water through the entire van. However, that's obviously not the case since we're going on the road. So right here I have 2 different options. I have a gravity fill if I wanted to actually dump water in here. And then of course I have the standard fill right here, and I have a hose hooked up to the well system from our garage. Like I mentioned, this hose is for drinking water, so it would be safe to drink. I know that I can drink the water coming out of this spigot. However, I really don't drink the water in my van. I could if I needed to, but it probably really wouldn't taste the best. One thing that I can always do though is take the water out of here and put it through a Brita filter, and I know that it's perfectly safe to drink after that. Now, my van in particular has a 21-gallon freshwater tank as well as a 21 gray water tank. I'm going to be filling up the freshwater right now. Simply turn that on. Hopefully I put the plug back in the correct way in the bottom of the freshwater tank. I'm going to fill this thing up, run water through all of the lines. There's a lot of different places where you can access water in this van. Then from there I will drain the gray tanks, that way they are back on empty, and then I will fill this up one more time with fresh water, and then I should be good to go. One thing to keep in mind from my winterization video is that you want to have this valve over to normal. I actually flipped that back to normal right after I was done winterizing this thing. If you don't do that, then you will not get fresh water through the line, so it's important that you kind of follow the instructions in my other video. Now that we have water coming into the van, I will come in here on the inside and actually turn on the water pump. You can sort of hear it kick on over here. That should run for a little while as it preps the lines, and then it should turn off once everything is pressurized. While this is filling up, I might as well start right here with the sink. Cold water. So that's pretty simple there. You really just want to run it until you see all of the pink color coming out of the line. Now you'll see it's running some fresh water. It is a little bubbly right now. I do want to make sure that the sink pump is also running. Looks like we might have an issue. Oh no. Thankfully, I had the drain plug in. Alright, thank God. I was not looking forward to replacing a pump in this thing already. So you saw me running the cold water, but now we actually have to do the hot water as well, so I'll turn this to hot. You'll notice some more pink coming out. And now it's looking like fresh water. Now what's good about RV antifreeze is that it is not toxic, so you don't have to worry about it all that much. However, I do want to make sure that the lines are as clean as possible because I'm going to be using this water to wash dishes, shower, brush my teeth, and things like that. Check on the tank levels, and we are at 2/3, so we're getting close to being full here. You can actually keep an eye on that level, and once it gets full you can turn off the water. However, what I've been doing is just filling it up all the way. There's actually an overflow valve, so as soon as you start to hear some drips out of the bottom of the van, then you know that this thing is topped off. While we're out here, we might as well de-winterize the spray port. Simply hook this up, press like that. I'm gonna put this straight into the drain. There's actually not a whole lot in there, so that was quick and easy. When you disconnect a hose like this, you want to hold the spray nozzle and make sure all that water drains out, because it still is going to be cold, freezing temperatures, and the van will be fine as long as I'm occupying it. There are glycol lines wrapped around the actual tanks to keep them from freezing. But if I throw this back in there and it gets really cold inside the van, these could freeze. Just like I mentioned, the van is full now. It's coming out of the overflow valve. So we will shut this off. But yeah, the tanks are topped off now. I'll remove this hose and set it aside because, like I mentioned, we'll need to use this again in a second. Now for some of the rest of the ports, of course, we got to go in here to the shower. I currently have the bathroom set up with 2 bamboo racks because I am going to be going skiing this Saturday. If anyone wants to come out and meet up, Vermont, Mount Snow, we'll be there. So I have this stuff in here to keep my wet ski boots, pants, gear, stuff like that. If I ever need to shower, simply slide these racks out. These probably won't be coming with me all summer. This is just for the warm-up lap. Now instead of running these water lines in the actual shower, what I'm going to do is just do it right here in the sink. That way I don't need to worry about antifreeze and stuff all over the white bathroom. The shower head reaches far enough over here to the sink. We'll do cold water first. It's hard to tell, but that is very pink. And now it is clean. This is actually a secret to showering in a van like this. You only have 21 gallons. I've made it a full 7 days of showering in a row before I needed to refill the tanks. Turn the water on, and then you can use the head to regulate the water, conserve a lot of water. And this is also a low flow head, which is almost a must in every RV. Now we'll move over to hot water. And now we're running clear again. One more thing I need to do in here is, of course, the toilet. On the back side here, there is a flush button. And you'll notice that is pink right now. That is good to go. Now, last but not least, I do have an outdoor shower in the back here, which I've actually never used yet. I'm just gonna hook up the spray hose for now to de-winterize it, run cold water. Hot water back here as well. It'd be cool to shower outside in the backcountry. And clear. Now that that is done, again, I'll drain this hose. I'm going to actually empty the gray water tank because there is a little bit of that antifreeze in there now. You want to keep that gray tank as empty as possible, especially if you're on the road full time, because you want to save weight. A full 21-gallon tank is around 178 extra pounds that you're carrying, so if you double that, it's quite a lot of weight. Your miles per gallon is going to go down if that's the case, so I'm just making things as best as possible. Now, to empty the gray tank, this is something that you obviously want to do responsibly at an area where you know whatever you're dumping is not going to contaminate anything else. I happen to be on my own property. I know that there's just a little bit of antifreeze, which again is non-toxic, and some wastewater in there. There's no food scraps or bodily waste coming out of this stuff. It's really just water, and that's pretty much it. I'm not even going to use a hose for this because there's only a tiny bit of water in there. I'm just going to empty it right here into the rocks. So the port is right back here behind the driver's side footboard. You want to make sure that this valve is first pushed all the way in. You don't want that thing to be out when you untwist this because you're going to get an unpleasant shower. Simply pop that cap off. I like to try to keep that thing back here out of the way because water is obviously going to come out of here. And whenever you're ready, simply pull this valve. So as you can see, just a little bit of pink water, a little antifreeze. I can't stress enough that this is not the black tank. That thing is found right up here, a cassette toilet. And I don't know if you guys want to see me empty something like that, but of course I'm gonna have to in the future. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Push that lever back in, grab the cap, pop that back on, and we're good. All right, one more time. The fresh water is on 2/3. We're gonna fill this up and that will be done for the water portion of this. Quick and easy to top that off. Now I will drain this hose and we'll move on to packing. All right, well, I know you guys like gear loadouts. I do as well, and when it comes to the van, this is something that is sort of always changing, constantly evolving, and I have a lot of the things that I believe I will need over the next 2 weeks right here in front of me. I'm gonna kind of make this up as I go, and I'm gonna try to organize things as best as possible, starting with what we already have on the inside. Let's actually start on the inside. Other than the typical gear, like the things that I have mounted up and rain jacket, the stuff that never leaves the van, all of that stuff is here, but everything else is pretty much empty. We do have the mainstays in the drawers up here, like kitchen utensils and things like that, all of which I will cover in some future videos. This down here is now the junk drawer. Got playing cards and other stuff. Fridge is completely empty. The pantry over here is pretty much empty. I'm gonna worry about food and toiletry essential type of supplies last, because I'll just simply drive to the store to fill the van up. Now on the inside back here, I still have my orange squishy moon mat, and this is actually going to be changed. I ordered some material where I can actually custom cut a piece of foam for the flooring back here. You guys will see that in a future van modification video. Right here is what I'm storing things in. These are Sterilite containers. They are stackable. So right here I have the mainstay, all of the RV supplies that I already showed you guys. That box right there is all of my kitchen stuff, pots and pans and cups and anything else that I might need that I don't want to keep up front in the storage. Then over here I have leveling blocks. You may have seen me use those out in Colorado last year. Super important when you're sleeping in some random areas. Then I have a one-wheel holder right by the plug to charge it. Now first up, and probably the most important thing, is clothing. Right here I have clothing for 2 weeks. I can change my clothing every single day and not run out, not have to do laundry. I also have some of my skiing stuff in here. Like I mentioned, we're skiing this Saturday at Mount Snow, if you guys want to come out. So I got jacket, pants, ski socks, everything else that I need is in here. By the way, this is a bag that I have not shown in videos, but this is a massive duffel bag from Vertex. If you guys want to check this stuff out, I do have a code for Vertex, 25% off. I figured this thing would work perfectly for me. Previously, I was storing my clothing underneath the bed here and in the pantry, but now that I'm going to be cooking a lot in the van, I figured I wanted to switch things up. So this will fit perfectly right there in between everything, and whenever I need a change of clothing, I'll simply pull that out, find what I need, and then slide it back. Now I also have 2 more of these stackable containers. I'm not sure how I'm gonna load these things out just yet. I believe one of them is going to be like tools and supplies. I'm gonna kind of organize this thing right now. I ordered a bunch of these little cocoon organizers. They're super clutch. I've been using these things forever. They're just little elastic straps that you can put stuff in so things don't rattle around. So first up, I guess I will make this larger tub here my tools. I already have some recovery straps in here from Rhino USA. They make some really good stuff, and that is to be coupled with the whole front end of the van. I have not done a video on that yet. Again, that stuff will come in the modification video once I get to it. But I've got a snatch block and some recovery straps in here to go along with the winch on the front. I've also got some heavy duty duct tape or Gorilla type of tape, electrical tape. That stuff can go in there. I really don't have all that much right now. I guess I will throw all of these like little pocket tool, knives and things like that in here as well. And other than that, I think that will be it for like the tool chest. Actually, one more thing in there. JB Weld, I just used this on a project over here on the side door. Again, that is stuff that you guys will see probably in the next video. So I believe that's good for the tools. Now I guess I will use this for the like outdoor type of stuff. I have not one but 2 FlexLite macro chairs from REI. They're super lightweight, compact, and you can fit them very easily in here. I have my Eno, my Eagle Nest Outfitters double nest hammock, which I keep with me pretty much everywhere I go. Got an SE6, my favorite camp knife as of right now. And then I also have a bug screen for the big sliding door, and that thing I basically install whenever I'm in a very buggy environment. I guess I can also throw my one wheel XR charger in there. I also have a USB powered fan. That thing I can plug in wherever I'm at. For this first trip, I only have one wheel stand. I'll show you how that works right now. A one wheel obviously has a very strange form factor, and if you have one, you will know that when you drive around, they will like rumble around in your trunk and flip around, make a whole lot of noise. So this thing just keeps it nice and secure. Right here is the power port, so I will put that near the outlet, and that thing is not going anywhere. That's really like my last mile vehicle when I'm parking somewhere around town. I don't feel like walking. That will get me 18 miles. So I can get 9 miles away from the van and 9 miles back, which is super important. These tubs are stackable, like I mentioned. I could probably use more of those in the future if I wanted to. For this trip though, we're skiing, so I of course have my ski boards, ski boots. Those are also going to be flying around if I had to guess. And then I have 2 more crates for miscellaneous items. I got my helmet for skiing and skating, goggles and everything else for skiing in there. Hiking shoes, flip-flops. Probably won't need flip-flops in March and April, but we got them. And then I got 1 more extra crate. These are also stackable, but there is plenty of room back here. I really don't need to do that. For now, I think that is all the gear that I need. I'll probably spend the next like 48 hours racking my brain trying to figure out if I missed anything. I of course need my EDC backpack, all of my camera gear, and then I need to load up with food and other like toiletry type of supplies, but we will do that later in the day, I guess. Alright guys, well I think that's going to be all for today. I believe the van is completely prepped. The only thing I need again is food and toiletries and some other supplies that I can pick up at a store as soon as I hit the road. I know for a fact there is going to be something that I'm forgetting, and I'm just going to be racking my brain until I figure that out. But luckily this is just going to be a warm-up lap, so if I do forget anything, I will be coming back here and I can kind of sort that stuff out before I actually head out west for 6 months or so. I'm still waiting on a few more parts to come in as far as modifications on the van goes. There are a lot of little things that I want to bring you guys, but I want to do that all in one complete video, comparing the van from last year to this year, all the new things that I've added to it. I know I said I wasn't going to modify this thing, but that ship has sailed already, so that's going to be a pretty fun video for me to make. The other thing that I did do was the first maintenance schedule on the van. The road trip last summer was about 2.5 months. It put roughly 15,000 miles on here, and the service intervals on the Sprinter chassis are at 20,000. So I did the first service interval a little bit earlier because can't hurt to do that. Got new oil and filters, all of that good stuff, and I should be set for another 20,000 miles. Hopefully the only thing that I'm really going to have to do is maintain fluid, tire rotation, and things like that while I'm moving around. But so far, I love the Mercedes reliability. I think I have a good one, and I'm looking forward to a lot more miles on the van. So other than that, I think I'm going to head to the store now and fill up on some remaining supplies. If there's anything that you think I forgot, let me know in the comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week. That's going to be all for today. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you in the next one.